Hello everyone, I am so glad you have joined us on the farm. It is going to be a lot of fun, but I hope you've enjoyed your memories now from Paris. It was so fun. My husband and I even went to lunch at a little sidewalk cafe and just had a delightful time. And I've been surprised how many movies I have watched or references that I have seen to Paris. I'm like, it is just a great memory and it was so much fun. If you haven't had a chance to watch the videos, go ahead and take a minute and do that. It's a lot of fun. But do you on the farm, it's a lot of work. I hope you're ready. Are you all settled? You've got your scissors and your adhesive and you're ready to go, because today we have 3 cards to make. So shall we get started? Our first card is going to be, oh, I didn't mention though, be careful where you step. We are on a farm. And for some of you, it may be your first experience of farm life. So be careful where you step. Okay, for our card today, well, the first card for today is going to be Farm Fresh. For that card, you're going to need your card cutout, number 42, a new one, 78. We're going to talk more about chickens tomorrow. And then card cutout number 77. And then our pink Cosmos mini dots, inchworm gingham, and our new envelope. So this is a new envelope that we'll be doing. We're not actually going to make the envelope in this class, but you can go back to week 1 and those videos there will show you how to make the envelopes from our printed envelopes. They're great DIYs, just ready to cut out, and they are reversible. So I will show you about that today. So let me just move this out of the way. I already have our pieces cut out. Oh, and I'm going to grab the sample here, because we have a lot of things on our mind and it's nice to know what we're making. So we're going to work on the Farm Fresh. I have my inchworm gingham cut out, or just cut in half, so 5.5 by 8.5. I have cut out my card cutout number 42, the rectangle. I have cut out my Farm Fresh. I think this is a medium size. Let me just look here so we can tell for sure. Oh, this is the large size strawberry, so you can use that, have that cut out. And then I have on my pink Cosmos mini dots, I have cut a piece that is 4.25 by 3.25. I had that pre-cut. And so those are all of our pieces. Now we're just going to go ahead and assemble it and just show you a few tricks. So I had measured this, so I knew the size I wanted to place this on. And you can do a couple of different ways. You could actually just cut this, adhere this to your mini ginghams like this, and adhere, and then just use your paper trimmer. Or you can cut it by hand too. Now when I'm cutting, I will use, people will ask, what scissors do you use? These are just some office scissors, and then the small scissors. And I honestly use them both interchangeably. If I'm going to cut out something like this and I'm not going to use a trimmer, I'd probably go for the bigger scissors because they'll go faster. Something to keep in mind though, you never want to cut all the way to the throat of the scissors. You always cut short. If you come clear up here, that's where you get your jaggedness. So just make sure you stop here. And then, but I would use, if I were to cut this by hand rather than a paper trimmer, I would use my bigger scissors. But when I am cutting out this little chicken, I actually used the big scissors for that too, just because they were closest. So whatever scissors you're most comfortable with, those are the ones to use. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere my card cutout, the frame, the doodle frame, the rectangle, and I'm just going to place it here. Now I just use double-sided tape, but whatever adhesive you like to use, that's what you should go ahead and do here. Then for your mounting tape, okay, here is my mounting tape, and I'm just going to rip off a little piece that I can use to work with. And I'm going to put a piece on my little chicken, and a piece on my strawberry, and a piece on my watermelon. I like to use the mounting tape for these items because I feel like it just gives a little more pop and a little more dimension. But I just realized we want to put our Farm Fresh sign on first. And so I'm going to use, I think I just used a double-sided tape there. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that again. And I am just going to adhere a little bit of tape on both ends, and I'm going to kind of roll it a little bit on my with a pen, just using a pen, so it just gave it a little bit of a curve. And then I kind of like things when they go off the edge, so I'm just going to position it a little off the edge, and then I want my watermelon to sit on top of it, and I want my chicken so its feet are just kind of touching the top of it. And you can see how the mounting tape just gives it a little more dimension there and just adds a little more interest to the card. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my little strawberry. And then just to add a little more texture to the card, I could just adhere it like this, and I think that's fun. But I really liked just a little bit of texture that jute added. And what I did is I added it to this base piece instead of the whole card. That way the inside of your card has a nice clean look as well. But either preference will work. And I just take off a piece, and you could do it without cutting as well first. And then I just simply wrapped it around a couple of times, and then just tied a little square knot. Now, the rule for a square knot, in case you haven't heard on the farm, it is right over left, and then left over right. So we have to use that knot a lot here on the farm. But the thing I like about that, then you could position those however you want. The thing I like about that is it has your ends of your jute going in opposite directions, or 180 degrees from each other, and I think that just makes it a little tidier. Now, if it wasn't quite as tight as you would like, or you want to position it so it stays, you can come back here. And this is the beauty of doing, let me just grab my regular tape here, of doing it on the inside of the panel rather than inside the whole card, because now I've just taped it, and now I can go ahead and adhere it to the front of my card. So I again just used double-sided tape, and now I have that adhered to my inchworm gingham, and just so easy. We made the cutest little, but my Farm Fresh, it moved a little bit, so let me, there we go. We've made our cute little Farm Fresh card, and then the envelope that goes with that, today we're actually going to be using the same envelope, but it's reversible, you know, and we're going to use the little corrugated paper on the outside. So all I had done is cut it out, and then I have used my folding guide that comes with your kit to fold it and score it. And you can just see what a cute little finishing touch that is for your card. And then you have your card, your wrappers, your envelope wrappers that come with it too. And so I had selected this one. We used this one in our last kit, but I thought it was so cute with the watermelon. I just really liked the black and the contrast of the white polka dots. So card number 1 finished, and now we're going to move on to card number 2. Hello everyone, I am so glad you're here for card number 2 on day 1 of On the Farm Camp. If you didn't join us in Paris, there are just a few rules I want to make sure that you are aware of. And today we're going to talk about number 4. So it's just right in the beginning of your camp idea book and journal. Rule number 4, try new things. When was the last time you tried something for the first time? So I challenge you to try something new for the first time. Maybe it's trying a new fruit, or maybe it's learning a new recipe. Last time when we went to Paris, I decided I would like to learn to make crepes. And so I tried that and it was way fun, and they were yummy too. And the recipe is in your idea book, so look for that there. Or I thought this week, it's not the first time I've done it, but it's been a long time. And that is, I'm going to go to the farmer's market this week because I've learned I am not very good. I appreciate all those farmers and those who can grow a beautiful garden. I'm not very good at that. I'm much better at drawing them and painting them than I am at growing them. So I appreciate all of you who are good at that. So today we're just going to go ahead and we're going to use our paper fruits and make a cute card. Life is sweet. So for this card, we need our card cutout number 40, card cutout number 70, our pink geranium watercolor dots, and our new paper, Garden Moss Green Artsy. So I love the texture in this paper. It is so fun to work with and just adds personality all by itself. So let me grab the pieces. I have already cut out everything we're going to need. So here are the items we're going to need. I'm going to go ahead and take the card down so we can see what we're building. And this time we are using that same envelope that we talked about. I have it just taped together so we can see it. But this is the opposite side that we used last time. So our little corrugated paper is on the inside. And then it just has the cute pink geranium watercolor dots and our artsy paper on the flap of the envelope, so you can see that's just really a fun combination. So I have got all of my pieces cut out and we're ready to go. But a couple of things I wanted to show you first. And that is, see on this sample here, how there's a lot more definition on the outside or perimeter of the card. And it's just your 8.5 by 11 cut in half and then folded. And you can do that on both sides or just the front, however you want. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I've done that technique. Now I recommend you have a piece of scratch paper or something on your work surface. And I don't want to do it on my mat because then it has the chance of having that ink rub off to something else. So I am just going to go ahead and put a piece of white paper down, and I am using the Forest Moss Distress Ink by Tim Holtz. And I'm using my dauber, but you feel free to use whatever works for you. And then I am just like scuffing or buffing this outside edge, kind of using some circular motions. But you can see how that is just giving a little more definition to the outside edge of the card. And then if you want, you can even pick your card up, and sometimes I just like to add a little more to the edges, and I'm just lightly brushing using that outside edge. And sometimes you get a little area that gets a little more up like that, and I love those. So don't worry if that happens. I think it just adds so much personality to our project. So I'm going to go ahead and move that. Now, you could ink any of the other pieces as well, not just at the outside of the card. But on this one, I decided I am just doing the outside edge of the card. I almost adhered this down first, but we have some things to do before we get to that, and that is to make our little pennant. And I have done that by trimming a piece of paper that's 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. You see, that's just going to fit perfectly on the front of this card. And then you just need to trim the little triangle out so it's a pennant shape. So I have that here, Now I can take my little square and put that there. I just want to show you, and I can just put all my pieces together. You can see what a cute little card it is. It's so cute. You could use it for a birthday or just thinking of you. But if you notice, I took and just drew little black circles around our watercolor dots. They certainly aren't perfect circles, but it just gives a little more definition to the dots here, and I thought creates a little more contrast so everything gets pulled together. So I'm just going to quickly do that. I'm going to go ahead, and you don't actually have to do all the dots because some of them will be behind this little square here, and if you go in the pink, it's okay. It's just giving the impression. And you can see I'm certainly not doing the perfect job, but that's okay. It's just the idea of it, and it just adds so much to have that extra little bit of definition and to bring the black out. It just makes it a little more striking, I think. So I'm sure that is enough. I've got the main areas covered. So the next thing I will do is just go ahead and just using my double-sided tape, I'm going to go ahead and adhere this to the front of my card. I love how we've done the inking on this outside edge. I think that just gives the card, the edge, just such a nice definition as well. And then I've already added my tape here. And you can see when you add this little square rectangle or little doodle frame, it ties in the black lines that you have just drawn around your circles. So the little black circles here just kind of fit in nicely with this square frame. And now I'm going to use mounting tape again because I really like adding more definition or more dimension to my cards. So I'm putting this watermelon on first because we're creating the layers, and I love when you have things overlap with each other. It just kind of draws everything together. And now the next thing I have is my You're So Sweet. I'm going to go ahead and use mounting tape for that too. We're going to have a lot of dimension in this cute card. And again, I'm just going to kind of bend it a little bit with my fingers and have it overlapping some things, how I have it going off the edge there. I have it coming off the rectangle too. I want a little bit of pink showing there. And I just want to leave enough room for my strawberry to fit on there. So I've added mounting tape to my little strawberry. And now I'm just going to stick that right on the little banner as well. So you can see, as I've used the mounting tape, it's able to add a little more dimension, just making the card pop a little bit more. This card, I think, is cute for so many different reasons. Thanks for joining us for card number 2, day 1. And in just a few minutes, we'll be back with card number 3. Card number 3 of day 1, a week on the farm. I am so excited that we're here, and I think these strawberries look so delicious. Look at this cute card. Now, when it was originally made, it was made just as a tag. So I want to show you. I did peel off a little paper there, but that's what happens sometimes. But you can see what a cute tag that made. And it has a little card inside the little pocket. Now that's a perfect little place to stick a gift card or to write a little note, just to add that little extra special touch. So we're going to go ahead and work on these delicious strawberries now. Let me show you what is used for this card. So we have our card cutout number 77 with those delicious strawberries. Our card cutout number 39 are little white flowers. We have pink geranium antique stripes. Our lovely new Gerber Daisy fresh gesso. I just love the texture on this paper. I just think it adds so much personality. And then our chocolate cake fresh gesso. Our pink geranium watercolor dots. Our newsprint. And then our new wooden farmhouse tags. So we're going to use these different items on this card. Let's get started. Okay, I have almost everything we need to get going, cut out, but I do want to show you just a couple of things. And that is, just as a reminder, because sometimes we get busy and forget, if I'm cutting out these little flowers, they're a little more detailed, or maybe some might refer to that as a little more fancy cutting or fussy cutting. I just cut out the little piece that I need, and then remember, you turn the paper and not the scissors. So you can see I'm just holding my scissors still, and I'm turning my paper. This allows you to get a much smoother cut and a little more controlled. And it makes cutting out so much easier. So I'll just hurry and finish cutting out this little flower. Now, if it's not perfect, don't worry. Remember that we don't have to be perfect for it to still be beautiful. Okay, so I have this flower cut out. And that's how I've done the other little flowers that are here too. I already have my tag cut out. I have my card base cut in half and then folded. And then for this little tag here, I've cut a piece that is 2 inches by 6.5 inches. And this little tab here is a little over 1/2 inch by 3 inches. So we have all of those pieces. We're going to start with the tag itself, and I'm going to work with the little wooden tag here, and I'm going to go ahead, let's see. Oh yes, we're just going to adhere it on to this one. And I liked how the stripes are going horizontal on this little tag, and so I'm going to position this tag so they are going horizontal on it as well. And then I'm going to position it as close here as I want and here as I want, because then I don't have so many places to cut. So I will simply add my little adhesive there. I will position my tag, whoops, but don't move it before you push down. So, okay, I have my tag in position, and you will probably want to add a little more adhesive than I have. And now, these were just the closest scissors, so that's the ones I grabbed to use. And you could, of course, use your little paper trimmer, whatever works good for you. And I'm just following up along the edge, and I will cut the sides as well. So you can see just how quick and easy we added that little background to that tag. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little black marker, and I'm just using the lay pen here, and I am just going to draw a line following, just giving a little more definition. And remember, it's okay to not have perfectly straight lines. It gives your card a little more personality, and it's just a nice personal touch. Now, of course, if you do want exactly straight lines, you could get out a straight edge or a ruler and make those lines just precise as you want. So we have our little background here formed. Oh, I forgot one step though. I am so sorry. Before you glue that to here, we actually want to take our newsprint, and I just want to create this little bit of a pocket here. So I am just going to cut a rectangle that is a little bit bigger than my card, so I have room to fold it around, and I'm going to rotate it. So I've just adhered it a little bit here. I'm just trimming my sides. And now I am just going to rotate it a smidge. So that's what kind of creates my angle. Now I'm not going to glue it down on this side, but I do want to tear my paper because I really like that little torn edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and tear my paper. But before we tear, I want to show you a little trick about tearing. If I have the pattern side up, it leaves this white border. Do you see that? But if I were to flip it over this way and now tear, I do not have that white border. So depending on the look you're going for, that's how you'll decide if you want to have your paper up or down. So I am just going to tear across this side, and I do want it to not have the white edge. So I just kind of like long pieces like that, but however it turns out, it's not an exact science. So now I'm just going to position my little scrap of paper, and you can make this any size you want. And if you don't like that was too pointy, you can simply scrunch it down like this, or fold it over, or tear it again. And now I'm just going to fold the back of my card. And if you want to trim some of that off so there's not so much to work with, that is a good idea as well. And now I'm just folding up those extra pieces. I'm just going to use Scotch tape here because that is what I have handy. But whatever adhesive is your favorite, just use that to adhere this to the back. And this I'm going to cut off just a little bit of an angle so it will fold nicely there. And remember, this is the back of the card, so it doesn't have to look as pretty as the front of the card. Well, this isn't the back of the card. This is the card that's going to adhere to another piece of paper. So we don't have to worry about it being as pretty. So now you can see we can mount this onto our stripes. And there you go. So now we just have a few more things to do. We are going to take our little strawberries, and inside I have a large and a medium size, and so I'm going to go ahead and tape those in place. And what I have found is the easiest, so I can see how it looks and feels. I just put a little bit of adhesive on the bottom part of my strawberry. That's double-sided adhesive, and I just position it how I want. I do like this smaller, so this is the medium size. I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit on the bottom of it as well. Now I folded it up because I don't want it to leave sticky out here, so I've just folded it so it's just this size. And now I'm going to tuck it there. I think that looks cute, that arrangement. And now I just press here, and now those are adhered. And there's just a little bit of tape sticking up there, so you can... I'm just folding it down a little bit. I'm going to trim it off. I didn't see that that was showing, or I would have stuck it down there a little bit further. Okay, so we got rid of that extra little bit of tape, and then we have our smaller strawberry here, and I'm going to go ahead and use mounting tape for that, just to give it a little more dimension. Don't these strawberries just look so good? So I'll just tuck this down here. Now, if you notice, they have just a slight amount of inking. This strawberry here, and then the little white flowers. So once again, you want a piece of paper to work with. And I am going to use, either you can use old paper or gathered twigs. I'm just going to grab my old paper here. And I have better luck if I'm just kind of holding my little item here. And then I'm going to grab my little strawberry because I thought I liked how that had that little antiqued edge as well. And I'm going to get the little white area around the stems up here too. Now, if you wanted, you could go up here and do those before you adhered them as well. And then remember, I think it is so fun when you're adhering your little flowers to kind of bend the petals up or just to give them a little more dimension. And I'm going to grab just a little piece of mounting tape. Now, glue dots would be nice for this too, just because they're small. And that would work. Oops. That would be a slick way to adhere the little flowers as well. So I'm just adding a little flower to that one. I've added one more flower and it's inked as well. And I mean, the inking, it really doesn't have to be any perfect way. It's just to add a little bit of softness to your project. So I'm going to add a little mounting tape. Bend up my little edges. Stick that on here. And they just feel like, these little white flowers are so perfect. They just feel like little strawberry blossoms. Now you're going to take your piece that you had already trimmed to 2 inches by 6.5 and you're just folding it. Now of course you could ink this as well, so just whatever your personal preference is. And then this is our little over 1/2 inch by 3 and I'm folding it in half as well. And then I'm just going to put some adhesive on both ends. And then I'm going to just stick that on top of this little piece we had already folded. And then I just added one more little petal flower here because I thought it just added a nice softness and made that little pull-out card just as cute as the rest of the card by itself. So I'm just taking my little flower, tucking it there, and so now you can see how cute that is when you get it tucked into your little pocket. The flower just complements so cute the rest of the card. Now that makes a darling tag. It is so cute. Perfect little gift card holder, perfect little place to write a little note to give to someone. But if you did want to turn it into a card, I simply took the chocolate cake fresh gesso and cut it in half, folded it in half, and then I took the pink geranium fresh gesso and I just put it on like so. And then you could double stick it on right now, or however you want to adhere it. So I'll just do that quick. And you can notice that I have a few places that are hanging over. You can do a couple of things. You could trim them with scissors, but I thought it was cute to actually fold the paper. And I folded this one just on the inside flap. And let me show you what that looks like. So get rid of that, but we'll just put, here's our little card little tag that's sitting on top of that. But when you turn it over where that folded, I added a little flower just at the point of that. And I thought that just made it finished off the back so cute. And then when you open the card on the inside, you have the little pink that comes here. And I just added another little flower there to finish off that. And of course you could decorate the inside of the card any way you want to. So I think these delicious strawberries look so yummy. I hope that we all have fun making our cards on the farm this week. I can't wait to see you tomorrow.